Hey, everybody. So excited that you're here with me today to spend a little bit of time to talk about military spouses for corporations and how military spouses can really support your organization in such a remote world. I am Moni Jefferson. I am the CEO and founder of AMC Agency, which is the Association of Military Spouse Entrepreneurs. And this topic is really near and dear to my heart. I am a military spouse of 20 years, and I'm really proud of my husband and our country and of being a military spouse. But it comes with its trials and tribulations, if you know what I mean. For most of you that are here, I want to kind of just jump into a little bit about me so you can kind of know a little bit about my history and why this topic means so much to me. So, like I said, I am a military spouse of 20 years. I have 3 kids, but I am also a multi-venture entrepreneur. This entire journey of trying to navigate and find my way in business and to advance in my career really started about 10 years ago. And since then, as you can see, I have launched and scaled several businesses. Dog Tags and Heels, which is a PR and social media agency, was my very first venture. And I worked with a lot of amazing corporate organizations in the military connected community, as well as military spouses. I also have launched and scaled multiple tech apps in the App Store, Milcam, Milimoji, My Ultimate PCS. I've also launched and scaled multiple niche communities for military spouses like the Mil Spouse Creative and Entrepreneur Group, MC Insiders, and of course, my recent venture, which is the Association of Military Spouse Entrepreneurs. Like I said, my journey started about 10 years ago. I married my military member right out of high school. He joined the military shortly after that. I am a military kid also. My dad was in the Army. And in that time, we had kids. I went to school. I got a degree in public relations and communications. And I did this stay at home thing for about 11, almost 12 years. So this is my family. It's my husband and my 3 kids. And I really loved being a stay at home mom at that time. I was there to help build the foundation for my family. But right around the time, as you can see, my little one down at the bottom, he was starting school. And that's when I started to think about what my future was going to look like. And if this was my time to go back to work. And when I decided to do that, I found that it was really, really hard to find a job in my career of choice and the career that I have a degree in, that I went to school for, that I'm trained in. And I found that what many people already knew was very new to me, that organizations at that time didn't want to hire military spouses because we move every 3 years and they have to reinvest into another person of that in that position and kind of have vacancy and all of those things. So in that time, that's when I started my own business, kind of saying, well, I can't put my future in other people's hands. I have to put it in my own. And that's when I started my entrepreneurial journey. I started my first company, which is Dog Tags and Heels. It was a PR and social media agency. We helped corporate clients help with brand evangelism and build client like no trust factors, right? Because we're so inundated online. And in that time, I started to also create a community of military spouse business owners. And I started to find that there were these gaps that organizations were asking and that spouses were asking. And I was helping kind of answer those questions for both of these parties. And that's when I realized that there's something missing. Like, why aren't these corporations hiring spouses that are not looking to consistently work in their company as like an employee, maybe as a contractor, maybe as a seasonal employee, something like that. And in that time is where I figured, well, let me do a little research on this. Let me see what I can do. Let me see how I can support. And that's when I launched AMC. And our organization just helps military spouses start, scale, and sustain their businesses. And we do that through resources, through curriculum, through support network, through mentorship, and so much more. And I find that it is, since COVID, it has become such a such a talking point that organizations should hire military spouses. And I wanted to just take this moment to really share my journey with you guys so you understood why this topic means so much to me and the experience I've had in working with these organizations. So, you're in the right place if you want to understand the needs of the military spouse, if you want to create positions to hire military spouses, and if you want to discover where to find spouses to hire. So before we get started, I want to hear from you guys here, those of you that are attending, if you can pop in the chat and tell me if you are currently hiring military spouses. Do you have an initiative? Share the initiative with others in the chat as well. And if you do not, tell us what you're looking for. Like, what is your biggest challenge right now? Because I think not only is it important for us to share with you or for me to share with you why you should hire a military spouse, but for us to also understand your challenges as a corporation in finding those spouses or creating positions that are of value to them, that are going to help them. So, understanding why military spouses actually, the military spouse dynamic is the workforce is really, really integral. So military spouses, they experience numerous challenges that the average American household does not go through. They have deployments, they have relocations, and they have to reestablish themselves all the time. And this is why the unemployment rate and why military spouses are so underemployed. The unemployment rate for military spouses remain high, placing spouses and their military families in a constant state of recession because they have to continuously move, reestablishing themselves professionally, creating new professional networking, relocating, and deployments. And not only that, you guys, but think of every time that you've ever had to move. You've had to take time to reestablish your family as well, not only your career, right? So those are all factors that have affected and have created this issue and this problem with military spouse employment. The result of what we just spoke about, the moves, the relocation, the constant reestablishing themselves, it has caused an unemployment and an underemployment issue. So let's talk a little bit about the facts. Military spouses, unemployment. Currently, according to the 2021 Hiring Our Heroes U.S. Chamber of Commerce Foundation, the unemployment rate for military spouses is at 38%. That is a lot. It is almost triple the amount of what it is for our civilian counterparts. Pre-pandemic, it was 24. And at 24, we thought, wow, this is a lot. Our spouses need our support. How can we support them? Post-pandemic has proven to be even worse because of spouses having to put their businesses on hold or leave work to take care of their children during the pandemic, or their businesses going out of business. So this unemployment rate is very, very high. Then we have underemployment. The facts of military spouse underemployment. Military spouses are more highly educated than most working Americans. In a recent survey, 88% of military spouses have some post-high school education, 34% have a college degree, and 15% have a postgraduate degree. Most military spouses are more highly educated than most working Americans. This is astronomical data and information. 48% of military spouses are being paid less than their previous job. And this is usually because they don't have traction. So they'll start all over at a job over and over again. And they have to start from the bottom every single time. 63% have had past positions that require more skills and responsibility than their current position, but the spouses take it because they need the financial stability to help their families. 69% say that they have more work experience than required for their position, which once again, our spouses are taking jobs that they have more experience for because they need to bring in financial stability to their family. And 71% have more formal education than needed for their current position, which shows that they're not able to work in their field of expertise because they have to keep working, reinventing themselves, reapplying for jobs. You know, through determination for their professional growth, military spouses, they just stay resilient. The solution to the underemployment and the unemployment and the underemployment is freelance and entrepreneurship. It is really, really a way for spouses to work and do a lot of things that they need to do to support their family. So let's talk a little bit about entrepreneurship. So according to our 2020 AMC Military Spouse Entrepreneur Impact Report, 28% of military spouses have either been self-employed or are operating their own businesses. 34% of military spouses had an interest in online or work from home opportunities, which is remote work and freelancing. Most of our spouses are set up to work that way. Entrepreneurship and remote work offer military spouses flexibility, which means that they're able to work when they can work, during deployments, during PCSs, during their spouse's TDY, during hard times when their military member is going through things that they need to take time off work. They can work when they're available, at the times they're available. They get to work in their chosen career path. So we just talked about the statistics and how military spouses are working in places that don't even necessarily pay them what they are worth. They have more education than required, or not enough education they're taking jobs for because they need to build financial wealth for their family. But with entrepreneurship and remote work opportunities, the path is they get to choose. They get to work in the skill that they went to school for or what they would like to have experience in. It also helps them build financial wealth, which we just spoke about. And they can work from anywhere, you guys. That means that they can work from a hotel room as long as they have Wi-Fi. They can work from a coffee shop. They can work in a car moving across country. Military spouses are absolutely incredible. Military spouses have a plethora of not only experience, but different types of jobs. They can be a solopreneur, a creative, or a freelancer in order to work with your corporation in its unique and specific way. So let's jump right in. Why hire military spouses? This is a photo of a chapter here at Joint Base JBMDL. It's a mouthful, McGuire Dix Lakehurst. And these are military spouses that all have their own businesses. We have a professor. We have a designer. She designs bathing suits. We have a photographer. We have a cleaning service. And all of these spouses work for themselves or corporations. So I wanted to share a little bit, for those of you that don't know, one of our pillars here at AMC is collaboration and advocacy. And one thing that I'm really proud of what we do is we collaborate with a lot of organizations that support our mission in some way or support our military spouses or military connected community. And this is a quote from Kelly Kelly from Hire Heroes USA. Military spouses, when I asked her, tell me why organizations should hire military spouses, she said, they are dedicated, dependable, educated, adaptable, resilient, and flexible. If you give a military spouse a problem, they will be able to come up with a solution. Military spouses are an untapped talent pool for employers, and organizations should consider hiring these talented individuals. I really love this, the way she put it, because she put dedicated, dependable, educated, adaptable, resilient, and flexible. And those are all the things that hiring a military spouse remotely offers companies as well. So let's talk a little bit about military spouse talent. What does that mean? We share that all the time. Military spouses have a plethora of talent. If you think about moving a home and everything that goes into moving an entire house, you guys, an entire family, schools, pets, vehicles, medical, dental. There are so many amazing skills that spouses use on top of the education that they already have. Military spouses they upskill all the time because of the time off that they have and the resources available to them. They are constantly educating themselves. They're volunteering for organizations that need their support. They are getting certifications and they're continuing their education remotely. They launch their own businesses. If people aren't going to make a way for military spouses, they make their own way, which shows their grit and passion for what they want to do. They use their background or education to make the money that they need to support their family. And they create remote work opportunities. They have out of the box thinking that help them secure jobs that allow them to work on their terms, which is incredible. So for those of you that follow the organization that I'm a part of, you do know that we are a MSEP partner, which is a military spouse employment partnership. And one thing that we are proud of is that they had their 10-year anniversary last week. During their anniversary, Dr. Jill Biden talked about the statistics for military spouse unemployment and underemployment are astonishing. She says almost 40% of military families said that they have considered leaving active duty service because of the challenges with spouse employment. This is absolutely discouraging and can be really stressful for our military members who are serving our country when the military spouse has an issue with employment because of the moves that they have to constantly move, because of the lifestyle of moving every 2 to 3 years for their military member. I want to share with you guys now this video from another partner, MSEP partner here. Let me see. Here we go. I'm going to share another screen with you guys. I really love the way that Booz Allen Hamilton shared this video, and they really summed it up perfectly.
So right from the get-go at Booz Allen, when in the recruiting process, we ask up front, are you a military spouse? Are you a veteran? We want to know because we want to hire them. So Booz Allen joined MSEP as a marker of that support for military spouse employees and to use the great recruiting resources that are available through the portal. And also, it's important to not only hire military spouses, but retain them, and that not only helps our economy, but helps our military readiness as well. In the environment that we're in today with technology, relocation and moving around geographically is no longer an excuse for losing top talent. And if that's how you see your military spouse employees, which I hope you do, then that's no longer a reason to lose them. So if you're looking for the top talent, hiring a military spouse is going to be a great place for you to go. Military spouses are flexible, we're resilient, we're problem solvers, and we can manage a lot of things at one time. So we have a deep sense of loyalty and an affinity towards a company, especially if they go out of their way to make sure that they retain us or support us through this journey. So another great reason to hire military spouses, particularly from a Booz Allen standpoint and companies that work with the DoD, is that we bring that unique perspective and understanding of how the military works to our work. And there's no ramp up period. So there are experiences that military spouses go through that make you incredibly resilient, but really, truly problem solvers. We can navigate our way out of any situation that the military throws at us. We can certainly solve a problem for our client or for a project that we're working on.
So as you can see, like, that's incredible. She touched upon a couple of different things. She said military spouses are resilient, we're problem solvers, we have tenacity. She called us top talent. And not only that, but it helps our military readiness. It helps our military stay military ready. So I think this is really important. I will make sure that I add that link if you guys want to read it again, or listen to this video again. But I really love the way that they highlighted and shared what they're doing at their company. All right, so I'm going to jump right in now. We're going to talk about taking action. So as we've been speaking, and as you have been thinking, and as I've been sharing with you guys, if you can pop into the chat and tell me what you think is the number one skill a military spouse has. I've said a lot of them. I've said a lot of qualities. I would really love to hear in your experience what you think that is, so we can kind of share. And if a military spouse is in here, I want you to read the chat, because it's going to show how incredible you are. And if you are an organization who hasn't hired a military spouse, this will inspire you to go out there and find a spouse to participate and to bring on board into your company. All right, so we're going to jump into taking action. Everybody can help make economic impact. It is so invaluable. And there are 3 ways organizations can help, and we're going to jump right into them. I want to make sure we leave enough questions at the end for you guys, or any comments as we're going through. So number 1, expansion. Expand remote work opportunities and match military spouses with those opportunities. It's so easy, you guys. Occupations such as a recruiter, marketing manager, specialist, project managers, consultants, they all have a high average opportunity for remote work, because all you really need is a laptop and the internet and the brain, which the spouse can take with them anywhere. An employer can prioritize, and they can highlight military spouses as ideal candidates for these types of positions. And you can also, as an organization, consider expanding remote work opportunities in order to retain current military spouse employees who face these types of challenges. So it brings in top talent. It brings in a dedicated workforce to help you really focus in on just focusing and honing in on how to support military spouses and remote workers. So that is one way, is you can just expand your work remote opportunities. If you have not done that yet, and you are just thinking about how you're going to do it, I would say do it with 1, do it with 2. I would also really highly encourage you to reach out to other organizations that are doing something similar and get on a collaboration call. We are not in competition with each other. We are here to help our military spouse community. And if you are an organization who is just now exploring hiring spouses or starting remote work, or maybe you're having some issues and you're trying to make it all work, reach out to another organization that's doing something similar and say, hey, we're looking to do something similar. How have you guys done this? What has been successful for you? Because the more we share, the more spouses we can hire, whether it's each individual organization. Collectively, we are doing more for the greater good. So expansion is number 1. Number 2, you guys, flexibility. Military spouses have to have flexibility, and so do you guys. I think it's really important to think about, how can you offer these positions, flexible work positions, that could help the spouses build economic empowerment for her family or his family during their times of need. So you can offer flexible work, such as part-time opportunities, seasonal opportunities. Consider offering temporary job openings, especially in the remote realm. So maybe you just create a remote department, and in that department, these are the things that you're going to offer during seasons. These are the part-time positions. These are the flexible hours, and help families relocate to new locations as often as possible. And if they're relocating, help them find new part-time and seasonal positions and different roles that allow them the flexibility to commit and continually balance their family and their commitments. I think it's really, really invaluable to offer these types of positions. And maybe that's where you get started. Maybe you think, man, I don't know that I can hire a military spouse full time right now. Well, maybe you start with seasonal positions. We have the holidays coming up. Maybe there's a seasonal position that you could come up with, or going into 2022 and thinking about that strategy for your organization. It's important that you're going to bring this into your model. How are you going to create that? What does that look like? And maybe, like I said, if you don't want to hire full-time employees, maybe you just say seasonal positions and these types of hours is what we're looking for. And I think that will give you guys a start as to what types of opportunities you can offer military spouses. And of course, the third one, mentorship. Oh my gosh. Mentorship is a big one for us here at AMC. We believe in the value of mentorship. So maybe you facilitate online coaching and membership. Peer-to-peer mentorship is invaluable. It's a tool that promotes workspace collaboration. It builds professional networks for military spouses. Military spouse community values models and enables them to receive guidance from other spouses. Also, it shows that employees support them, and they can not only grow in their work environment, but they can contribute. So companies with the structural capability of creating affinity groups that offer military spouses internal support systems at work provide additional opportunities for valuable mentorship. So if you have a program, maybe you add something, you layer this in to hiring the military spouses so that it can help them in the future as they're building their portfolio. All right, so we talked a little bit about why you should hire a military spouse, which it's a no-brainer. We talked a little bit about their skills, their qualities. I've shared with you guys 3 ways that you guys can support military spouses and bring them on board into your company. And now I'm going to share a little bit about where you should go to find these military spouses. Now, there is a plethora of information online. I pulled the ones that are partners with us here at AMC and help us with our initiative and our programming here for military spouse small business owners. Of course, AMC is the first one. We have a military spouse entrepreneur guide with stars and stripes that comes out biannually, and the digital copy has over 700 military spouse-owned businesses. And you guys, I'm talking about every single category, everything you could think of. We have a military spouse that does it. So that's the first thing. And we'll be dropping the links here. If you're looking for them, our team will be dropping the links below for you to be able to view the latest one, which is our third guide that just came out September. All right, and then we have the military spouse business application that is set to launch in spring 2022. And this is going to put the military spouse right in the palm of your hand. You'll be able to download the app, look at a profile, and connect with the spouse to hire them right away. Then we have, I just talked about them a minute ago, our military spouse employment partnerships with the Department of Defense. And one thing I want to encourage you, if you are an organization that is not part of that partnership, I want to encourage you to go and find out how to be a part of this economic impact that they are making in the lives of military families every single day through employment. So they are dedicated to helping military spouses find employment, and all companies are part of this. There's over 500 companies, and they're celebrating 10 years. So I'm going to encourage you. We will drop the link as well for you to go find out what it takes to be an MSET partner. And it's really cool because the spouses get an online portal to create like a profile, and the employers get an online portal, and they get to put out what types of jobs they're going to be offering and positions that they're looking for. So it's a win-win for everybody. Then we also have Spousely, which is an online shop of military spouse businesses. I always want to encourage organizations that if they are looking to hire anybody for gifts or for employment or for contracting work, go over to their website. They have over 300 spouses online businesses that you can shop from. So head over and check them out. And then, of course, we have our friends over at Hire Heroes. Earlier, we heard Kelly's quote, which was incredible. And they have a job search assistance for spouses, and they help companies connect with opportunities to hire them. So these are all really great places for you to get started. We'll be dropping the links. And I just want to encourage you, if you are an organization, a company who is looking to hire military spouses or contract military spouses out, this is where you should get started. So as we're closing up, I would love for you guys to pop in any questions that you have, and my team and I will answer them as we're going through. And I want to share with you guys a little bit more. When military spouses are satisfied with their career, their military member can focus on serving the country. And that's what we talked about earlier, and Booz Allen talked about in their video, is the military readiness. When a military spouse feels valued, feels like they are contributing to their household, it helps with their confidence, it helps with their self-esteem, and it in turn helps the military family because they're happy. They're doing something for themselves, and they're working in their field of work. They're bringing home money, or they're working in when they're available to work. As a collaborative, corporate companies can help revive the thread of our military families by creating opportunities of employment for military spouses. And while I know that, especially during the pandemic, there has been a lot of, I feel like there's been an evolution of military spouse remote work and entrepreneurship support, which has been incredible. But there's a lot of work to do, my friends, and we can do it together. More work is to be done before these women and men experience opportunities equivalent to those of their civilian counterparts. And one quote that I am just in love with, that my friend Megan Brown says all the time. She says, if you want to go far, go. It's actually an African proverb. She goes, if you want to go far, go alone. If you want to go fast, go alone. If you want to go far, go together. And so I just want to encourage you guys here on this at this summit, and you're an organization who wants to hire a spouse. We can do more together, collaboratively. There is a way for you to create opportunities for military spouses to work for your organization. And I've clearly laid out exactly why it would be beneficial for you guys to hire spouses. I also want to encourage you to collaboratively reach out to the organizations that I've mentioned here, because they are all about advocacy and building together to reach more spouses together. And we can only all do this together. In closing, I just want to say thank you so much for your time. If you guys, let me make this one a little bigger. If you guys want to get a hold of me, if you have any questions, I'm happy to follow up and connect with you. This is all of our information. Please follow us on social media. Let us know what your thoughts are, and I'm happy to take any questions now on why corporate organizations should hire military spouses. And if you have any comments, if you have any resources for organizations to collaborate or connect with you, please drop them in the comment section. I always encourage people to drop their LinkedIn, because that is where we should all be connecting professionally and supporting our military spouse connected community. Once again, I want to thank you guys so much for your time. I really know how busy you guys are, so I value the fact that you spent some time with me and you participated and you shared your feedback. I look forward to seeing everybody grow their organization with military spouses. Have a great rest of your day. Bye-bye.